What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and happy Tuesday to you. It's not Monday, it's not Friday, but hey, it's Tuesday. Another 4G video for you here, the HTC ThunderBolt versus the Samsung Galaxy S 4G. Both are awesome in their respective carriers. Both are 4G devices. 1 GHz processor here, 1 GHz here, even though this is Hummingbird and this is Snapdragon. 8 megapixel camera on the back of this one, 5 on this one, so the specs are a little bit different, but they both have front-facing cameras. They're both, equipped with a lot of features, and they're both good choices on Verizon and on T-Mobile respectively. Which one's the best? Which one should you go with? Well, we're going to find out in the full dogfight, which starts right now. So okay, at this point you're like, more 4G dogfights? Yeah, or you're like, Aaron, come on now, stop messing with the Thunderbolt, send it back to Verizon, and stop doing the Thunderbolt dogfights. Well, you guys have asked for these, and really, when you're being honest about it, there are a lot of 4G options out there. I mean, you have the, the 4G devices on T-Mobile, this first 4G device on Verizon, the Inspire and the Atrix on AT&T, and then Sprint's lineup, the Evo, the Epic, the Evo Shift, etc. More coming soon. There are quite a few, devices to do battle with or to do dogfight with. So I think it's a worthy video. It's one you guys have asked for. So particularly excited about this one. So we have the HTC ThunderBolt, the T-Mobile Galaxy S 4G. Actually, the Samsung Galaxy S 4G is what it's branded as this time. 1 GHz Snapdragon processor over here, 4.3-inch display, 8 megapixel camera. You've heard the specs, I'm sure, but kickstand on the back with a speaker behind it. Dual LED flash and the 8 megapixel camera, front-facing camera for video calling, although there are some reports of some issues with the third-party programs like Freeing, Quick, Tango. All are having some sort of issues with either the sound or the front-facing cameras at this time. So keep that in mind. Don't buy it just yet for front-facing video calling. But and of course Skype isn't supported just yet, but it does have it, so in the future it'll be enabled. Now in this one you have the front-facing camera as well. 4-inch Super AMOLED display. So this one's higher resolution, more high-resolution display, but it's smaller, 4 inches opposed to 4.3 inches. 5 megapixel camera on the back, still no flash, which was pretty surprising given that this is nothing more really than an evolutionary upgrade from the Samsung Vibrant. So otherwise everything looks pretty similar. You'll notice the battery door, there's a slightly different color there. Excuse me. And the enhancements to this device over the Vibrant, a couple of things. Front-facing camera, new battery door, 1650 milliamp battery. Excuse me. I don't know what's in my throat. 1650 milliamp battery, and some slight changes like that. So not a lot, on the change front from the Vibrant. Design looks exactly the same, but if you want a bigger battery, you want that front-facing camera, you want Android 2.2 out of the box, you have it on the Samsung Galaxy S 4G. Now body-wise, you put these up and it's not going to really show here because the angle that the camera is, but the Thunderbolt's noticeably thicker than the Galaxy S 4G. I mean, noticeably. Let me see if I can kind of show you. I can't show you that way either. But you can see just by holding them up behind each other, noticeably thicker. And if you've worked with an Evo 4G in the past, this one's very similar in terms of feel to the Evo 4G. Actually, I believe it's a little bit thicker than the Evo, just barely. But very similar in terms of feel. Now this one, very thin. It has that hump there at the bottom, but otherwise very thin and easy to hold in the hand. Not to say that this one's not easy to hold in the hand, but it is noticeably thicker. And when you're holding these in your pocket, you do notice this one more than you do the Galaxy S 4G. On the left side of the Thunderbolt, you have the micro USB charging port, and then on the right, you have your volume rocker. You see a kind of a part of the kickstand here. And then on the back, 1400 milliamp battery under here, and then you have a 32 gigabyte micro SD card that comes with the device. So you get a total of 40 gigabytes between the 8 gigabytes of internal storage, the 32 gigabytes of external storage. 40 gigabytes out of the box in this device, so that's a pretty awesome number. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, power button of course, and 4 capacitive buttons on the bottom. Now with the Galaxy S 4G, you have your volume rocker over here, lanyard hole. Let's see, micro USB charging port with the flap that I love so much, where you can actually close it kind of like a little door. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and then down here, your battery, and I can pull this one off since it's a little bit easier. SIM card slot, micro SD card, which is a 16 gigabyte micro SD card that comes with this out of the box, and a 1650 milliamp battery. Now the original Vibrant, like I said, came with a 1500 milliamp battery, so it is an upgrade. The battery life is noticeable, or the improvement rather, battery life improvements are noticeable when using this device. So I've been pretty pleased. But anyway, both are running Android 2.2, except they're running their own manufacturer installed user interfaces. So even though this is running theoretically the exact same build of Android, they look completely different. That's because this one's running HTC Sense user interface. This one's running Samsung's TouchWiz user interface, and you can see just by going into applications, excuse me, very, very different. A lot of bloatware pre-installed on the HTC ThunderBolt, which surprised me. I mean, you come down through the list here, you have BitBop, Blockbuster, City ID, scroll down through, you see Let's Golf 2, mobile hotspot, which this device is mobile hotspot capable. For an additional fee, you can access that from Verizon. You get 2 gigabytes and it's an extra $20 a month. Now that's free through May 15th. So if you buy the device, you get free access to that through May 15th. They're trying to get people, incentive to buy it. So they're giving you the ability to test it out. As of, like I said, $20, 2 gigabytes, May 15th. So keep that in mind. Scrolling down through here, let's see, Rhapsody, Rock Band, Slacker, TuneWiki, VCast apps, VCast Media, VZ Navigator, VZ everything, and more. And the problem is none of that can be uninstalled. So once you see it on there, and once you get it out of the box, you're stuck with all this stuff regardless. I mean, regardless of whether you play Let's Golf 2 or not. I mean, I'm a pretty freaking bad golf player, and so I have no need for Let's Golf 2, but it's on there, and I can't remove it, and it makes me sad. And then you have the Galaxy S4G, which has pre-installed applications as well, like AirSync, AllShare, DriveSmart, Double Twist. I actually think DriveSmart's a pretty cool program because it gives you the ability to turn off the functions of your device while you're driving. So let's say somebody calls you, somebody text messages you, you can set it when you're driving to have them, get a text message back saying, I'm driving, I'm busy right now, text me later, or I'll text you when I get to my destination. There's a premium version as well that you can buy when it senses motion. I believe it shuts the device down, for automatic driving detection and more. So premium version there. GoGo in-flight Wi-Fi access. Inception comes pre-installed on this device out of the box. So if you remember the Vibrant, it had Avatar. This one has Inception. Layer, Samsung's Media Hub, T-Mobile applications, My Account, My Device. Let's see, Slacker on this one as well. Man, both of these devices are Slackers. That was bad. T-Mobile TV, and that was really bad. Quick video chat, visual voicemail, Wi-Fi calling, and more. So not only does this one have Wi-Fi calling and T-Mobile TV, it also has mobile hotspot capabilities by going into the settings. And I'll show you, going to wireless network where it says mobile AP, mobile access point. You can connect there and use this device like a mobile hotspot as well. It's just not as visible from the actual menu itself. But you do get Wi-Fi calling, a cool T-Mobile feature where you can call, well, just like it sounds, call from the Wi-Fi, from a Wi-Fi connection. If you're in an area where T-Mobile service isn't the greatest, now the downside is it does pull from your minutes, but you still get, better access to calling if you're in an area where you have 0 or 1 bars and it's kind of choppy. So a cool feature for those times where you're traveling and service isn't the best. You'll see differences in the operating system or the user interfaces, rather, not only in the menus, but just in everything in general. For example, widgets. You'll see that I just clicked to get widgets on both of these, and this brings up a full customization, HTC customization panel, as opposed to kind of the typical Android widget thing you're used to over here. You can see that there are some Samsung customized widgets like Buddies Now, Days widget, dual clock, let's see, feeds and updates, and a couple of other ones, Finance clock, some that come pre-installed on TouchWiz or come out of the box with TouchWiz. Now Sense, entirely different experience here, and this is running HTC Sense 2.0, so it's not running the version that the Evo has, it's running the version that the HTC Inspire and the Desire HD, if you're overseas, runs. So you notice Scene, Wallpaper, Skin, Widget App Shortcut. You'll see that it brings up this full menu, and not only can you add widgets, but you can change the skin. So I've always been a fan of HTC because they do allow a lot of customization, and this is no exception. So we can go back to the original HTC look if we really wanted to, and you can see the start bar, or the applications bar is down there, or applications drawer, excuse me. So you can see wallpaper changes, etc. So you can do that. Now the downside is Verizon has pulled out a lot of the functionality of HTC Sense. There's a complimentary kind of program, if you will, called htcsense.com, where you can locate your phone, you can download new wallpapers, new ringtones, new skins, and Verizon's pulled the functionality out of that. So instead, we'll go into skins, for example. It used to say get more, and actually on the Inspire it does say get more. It doesn't say that on the Verizon version, so something to keep in mind. They have pulled that out. I'll actually show you on the Inspire here. Here's what it looks like. You can see where it says get more, and you can jump onto htcsense.com and access those things. I mean, I'm not trying to pull a third device into the dogfight here, but you can see where it says HTC Hub, HTC Likes. HTC Hub is where you can download additional wallpapers, additional ringtones, things like that. and get even more customization. But still, you do get these options, and even without that, it's still by far my favorite for customization. And you can see HTC Widgets. HTC's always done a phenomenal job with their widgets. You can see that, and even in the case where there's an Android alternative, you'll see, for example, Calendar, HTC Calendar, Android, and you can pick between which one you really want. If you want the HTC one, we can click on that. We'll scroll over. Let's say we want the smaller one. You can hit select it. There's no space on this screen. We'll try to drag it to the next screen. And then there's some space there. So, I mean, absolutely beautiful. Apparently, I'm busy tomorrow from 2 to 2:30, so don't try to message me because apparently I'm busy. So, you know, the widgets are absolutely beautiful. They're constructed well, and they're not as bubbly to me. And kind of, you know, these are kind of bubbly and iPhone-y, if you will. If iPhone were to have widgets or iOS had widgets, this is what I imagine them to look like. Take a look at Buddies Now, for example. You can see it is not the, just a very kind of bubbly, kind of blah widget, if you will. So let's take a look at the internet on both of these devices. 4-inch Super AMOLED display over here, 4.3-inch display over here. So a little bit bigger by just a little bit over here, but I don't think most people will notice, or the average consumer will notice, rather. But, you know, for those people like us, you know, that does make a huge difference. I say us like I'm assuming that everybody watching this is like me. Maybe you're not. Maybe it does appeal to you, maybe it doesn't. So with that said, I'm going to stop talking. Let's see here. PhoneDog.com. We'll load that up. And then we'll load up PhoneDog over here as well. We'll go over the keyboards in just a second because there have been some minor changes to the keyboards on this versus the keyboards on the Vibrant. We'll go to, wait for that to load on PhoneDog. So it's loading up over here in the Thunderbolt and waiting for it to load up on the Galaxy S4G. Now let's get into some pinch to zoom fun now that this one's loaded, see what it's like. It's pretty quick. You know, it is running the latest version of Flash. It's definitely a quick, go up here, top 5 Android phones. I did list the Thunderbolt as #1 in the top 5, so I already have 5 comments on that. You can read those, but I will leave that to you to do. You can see pinch to zoom works well. Text, even in zoomed in form, looks good. Portrait and landscape, very easy transition. And then the typical browser functions. Hey John, what up, man? Typical browser functions, back, forward, add bookmark, bookmarks, windows, and then of course your full-on settings. Now let's get into pinch to zoom on this one, and you'll see I was actually incredibly impressed with how fast pinch to zoom is on this. And because it is running Android 2.2, it doesn't have the same excuse that the Vibrant has, you know, that it wasn't running Flash. That was why it was so fast. So, been incredibly impressed with just the speed capabilities around the board, or across the board on this device. Pinch to zoom works really well. You can see the ads running over here. You can see the ad. I'll show you. Ad up there, the Atrix 4G ad, and whatever's running down here, something green. And you can see works very well across the board. Now, settings include new window, Windows brightness setting, refresh. So a little bit of a different structure, but overall, you get the same features in this browser. If you wanted to add a page, you go to new window, and then we'll go check our windows. We can scroll back and forth. So just like the Thunderbolt, it provides a very visual, easy to access window menu. So we go over here, we add a new window, we'll go back, we'll switch the windows and go back to PhoneDog. So very visual, very easy to use for newbies all the way up to advanced users.